Look at single leg setup. So circle up, if you're doing nogi, circle up. So single legs, one of the best takedowns you can learn are first, we want to get very basic. So first we're going to do, if the opponent isn't too good and he's not really blocking with a hand. So when we tie up with our opponent, we want to step ankle to ankle, right? The closer our ankles is, and the more we can penetrate shoulder to shoulder, the more we can drive through. Now you don't have to drop towards your knees in jiu-jitsu because the stances are higher. You don't necessarily need to. All you need to do is change your level enough so your shoulder can get on the inside of his leg. Now from here, we're just gonna hook with our wrist, and we're not gonna pick up the leg, we're just gonna drive our opponent all the way through and transition 2 hands on the single leg and work from here. The main thing with this is stepping ankle to ankle, right? If I try shooting from here, notice I have to go into a terrible stance, it's not gonna work. So you gotta use your hands, use your body to step ankle to ankle, hook in nice and tight, and drive all the way through, right? If you're standing in a closed stance, I stand that leg forward and that leg backwards. Good, we're playing from here. And I wanted to pick up the leg. I would probably have to switch my stance as I go, stepping ankle to ankle, or I have to pull my opponent's leg and then go for the leg, right? Just making sure it's always easier to tie up your opponent's leg and grab it. We're standing in like a southpaw or open stance like that. If you had a closed stance, then we would probably either need to switch our stance so we can pick up the leg, or draw his back leg forward by pulling and then go for the leg. That makes sense, guys? Pretty simple, just they're gonna be in place. So now we're gonna look at different setups we can use. Our first setup is a cross grip. So if we're fighting head to head, I can give my opponent my wrist. He's gonna grab same side, right? If I want him to grab same side, generally speaking, I put my hand on that wrist and it's a lot easier. Now he has a grip on my wrist. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change my level, and as I change my level, I just keep my shoulder towards the inside, I kind of straighten his arm. As I do, I just make that pummel while I clear that wrist. Very important, I'm not clearing and then going. You definitely could do that, but it's easier if you do it at the same time. So as he's grabbing, you're just level changing, and now you just drive through and pick up the legs. Anytime he has a grip on your wrist, you can just cross and go towards that move. So we're fighting here, maybe he grabs my wrist, and I shoot and I drive through. It's very safe because once I change that level, my arm is extended, I'm extending his arm. His arm is kind of useless from here because it's all the way down. Now I can just hook, and as he tries using that arm, I can just pick up the leg and go towards my single leg, right? It's a very simple move, but the simple moves work very well. Yeah, we can go for our arm drag. These two are very similar. It's pretty much getting the arm in a position like this. So now we're gonna tie up, and we're gonna grab his wrist. We're just gonna grab the wrist like so. Normally the arm drag, I go all the way in and hook in deep. This one, we're not really going for arm drag, we're going for a single leg. So we're actually gonna break the rule and grab his elbow. And as I do, I just keep my head on the inside and go for the leg. So I'm grabbing his wrist, level change, and as I level change, I just pick up the leg and go forward like so. Let's say his posture is slightly lowered, we're fighting from a position like so, and I grip on his wrist. You on the inside and just drive through. I'm just dealing with that frame, right? Let's say he stands other leg forward, same thing here, we're tying up here, I go for the leg, and now I drive through and I pick up the single leg, right? Very important that our head needs to change the position. If I drive through with my head from here and his head is blocking, it's not gonna work. So as I do the arm drag, I need to gravitate with my head on the inside. So now I've beaten his head and I can actually finish the takedown. That makes sense, guys? Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, legend. Cheers. We're gonna look at what if my opponent feeds his shoelaces towards the outside towards here. So obviously this is very annoying, right? Because now it's harder for me to off balance, it's harder for me to dump. So when this happens, I want to transition towards the high single. So if I try picking the arm up, leg up, it can be hard. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my knee to lift it all the way up and punch my arm all the way in elbow deep. The higher I get his leg, the better. The more it drifts down, the harder it is for me and the more exhausting. If I can use my knee to take the leg all the way up and kind of keep it up high here, this is great, right? More advanced people, you know, actually start doing adjustments where you kind of turn and give up your back and do like this adjustment where you actually let go and you search for the heel. It looks kind of ridiculous, but the opponent doesn't have back exposure. This is very good because it keeps the leg up high. Now we get towards this position. The main thing is about turning and then using your body to get his hands towards the mat like this. Because we have the leg in place and we're turning across, he can't take my back. And now I can just turn back towards him and search for the hips like that, right? So once more, we're in the single leg. He pummels it towards the outside. Try to do it as soon as he pummels. If you wait, there's a lot of pressure, he might break your grip. So as soon as he makes that pummel, just use your knee and go elbow deep. If you want to, you can make adjustments, but you shouldn't need to. Ideally, turn and use your body. If you feel like you can't use your body, you can also just step in and use like your leg to off balance him towards the mat. And now look where his hands are. Now it's so easy just to let go, climb the hip, capture the far hip, and then lock your hands like that. So a different angle, we pick up the leg, he pummels. As soon as we do this, we hike with our knee, we go elbow deep. If we need to, we can even grab and adjust from here. Now we lock, we think about using our body to turn your partner's arm across. See, I'm doing this and exposing my back. it's actually very safe. If I need to, I can step and use my leg to trip as well and go for this move here. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Legs from guard. So just don't think because you're sitting down playing guard, you can't do the same move. So now we're gonna sit on the butt and we're gonna play from these positions here. My opponent's gonna be a little bit more backwards. Just stand with this leg forward just for the sake of simplicity. Good, when I'm playing guard, I wanna make sure my posture is good and athletic. If I play guard like this, I can't move very well. So the basic premise is take your shoulders in front of your hips and kind of post your hand on the mat like so. Have your heel in front of you. This is a couple things, right? If my opponent tries to push me down, because I have a hand post, I can take my shoulders more forward like this. If he tries snapping my head into the mat, because I have my heel in front of me, I can keep my head up proud. So as he tries going forwards for a headlock, I can keep my head in a good position here. It doesn't really make sense. And if he does that, he gives up my leg. So first is understanding how can you stay seated. If any moment he just pushes you and you have to flop on your back, this isn't very good, right? So we stay seated by taking a hand and taking our shoulders forward, right? But now maybe he can snap us down and go for a headlock. So we have a foot in front of us. If he tries pulling my head, it's very easy for me to clear. And now think about using the same setups we did from standing, just applying it towards the ground. So if he's grabbing my wrist, I can go for the leg from here. Main thing is we're already in a level changing position. So it's actually quite easy for us to go for the single leg. All we have to do is hook in and we have to curl towards our knees and go in athletic posture. My opponent's probably gonna square up to me. I'm gonna end up in a good position like this. A lot of people, when they shoot, they're kind of scared, so they expose the back of the head. The moment you expose the back of your head, the sprawl is so much stronger. Good, good. And see, I can stuff my head towards the mat. Now go back. If I just think about not exposing the back of my head, just by simply keeping my head straight, now when he sprawls, I can easily carry his weight. And now same thing, step your leg up and don't pick up the leg because that's very awkward. See, I can't really do it from here, just drive him backwards. And now we're in this single leg position, and now we can go through all our other options. So don't think just because he's standing, you can't do the same thing. So we're fighting here, right? He tries to push me down, I'm staying seated, right? I can do the arm drag setup, for example. I hook in shoulder deep, and I get towards my knees. Now as he tries sprawling, it's very hard, and I can push on my leg and take him up. He's probably gonna extract that arm out, and now we can have options from here, right? So just the main footwork motion, so you know, when I attack or sling it from guard, I take my feet towards the outside, so I'm athletic. If I leave my feet here, I can't really heist my knees up. So as I do, I take my feet towards the outside, and I hook in behind the shoulders. I use my grip to pull myself up towards my knees, and I step behind his ankle. Now he has to take a step around to readjust. Good, and I can drive forward and go towards here, right? Very important. Watch my footwork. And while I'm doing this, straight spine, good posture, you're gonna be as athletic as possible. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Head, and I'm having trouble attacking, so I can just fall towards my butt and play from this like knee cup position. So a lot of times we end up in a cross hamstring position. He has the leg backwards, and we end up somewhere like this. You can also off balance and go towards your single leg like so. If you try going now, it's very awkward because he's in a good base. So you need to think about off balancing him. Now my favorite way to off balance is by taking an upper body grip on his arm. So what I'm gonna look for, I'm gonna look at 2 and 1 on his elbow. So I'm grabbing his wrist, I'm grabbing his elbow. From here, I can give him a slight push, and as he pushes back into me, I pull my knees to my chest, I use my arm and my leg to extend and get his hands towards the mat. Now, this is a perfect position. Anytime you want to wrestle up from supine, you're gonna get his hand, his butt, or his knee towards the mat. We got his hands towards the mat, so we can wrestle up from here. Take your hook out, and now we're doing a little bit of different of a finish. We're gonna curl off toward a butt and use a pendulum motion and go elbow deep with my arm. And I'm just gonna scissor and go over both knees. When he tries turning back towards me, because I have the ankle stuck, it's pretty difficult, right? He's probably gonna go for an overhook. He goes for an overhook. It's all about me putting weight onto the hand, grabbing the ankle and picking it up high. And now I can really drive in and stop putting him down. He's probably gonna have to release the overhook from here and give up bottom position, right? So just because we're on our back doesn't mean we can't wrestle up towards single legs. So we're doing single legs today, as you can tell. So we work for a 2-1 grip. This is very accessible. If he's pulling back all the way and maybe I can't grab that, maybe I grab the ankle and I'd use an ankle off balance instead, right? But the main thing is you want his hands towards the mat to wrestle up. See, now it's very easy for me to attack. If you can't get his hands towards the mat, maybe use another attack, just like other guard play. You're elbow deep, you pull your knee to your chest, you think about pendulum up high and getting your knee behind. We call this a Kosoto hook, because now as he tries squaring up to me, his ankle's a little bit torqued, right? If I release the ankle, he can take his ankle backwards, and now I can easily square up towards me. So really emphasize having your knee behind. Get your shoulder all the way in deep and drive. So he has to take that whizzer out and post it onto the mat before he gets knocked over. Come back up. Most people will take the overhook out and just post toward the position like this, and now you have the back. Does that make sense, guys? So really quickly, standing up. Let's say Caleb has head position. So we're losing this battle. It's very hard to wrestle up when his head's low. So we take a 2-on-1. All right, now we pump our legs. And now we come up like this. Now we scissor our legs. We control the ankle. Think about lifting up and shelving the leg. Once we get towards here, you can finish the single on anyone. Yeah, makes sense, guys? 3, 2, 1.